childhood phases that were actually mental health signs. Let's get started straight now. Number 8. A picky eater is a nightmare. The kid who only ate chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. Not just any old nuggets. They had to be dinosaurs. If mom tried a standard spherical nugget, she would have a big breakdown. That kid might not have been just going through a phase. They might have had ARFID, which stands for Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. This isn't true vegetables are bad. This is, I'd rather go hungry than eat anything that isn't beige. Kids with ARFID have eating preferences that make Gordon Ramsay look casual. Kids who can tell if their favorite crackers are made in a different factory. Some have texture difficulties so serious they categorize foods like a serial murderer organizes trophies. Only meals that are crunchy. No water. Nothing that can be squished. Then the team that picks the colors. Everything has to be beige or white. A single green pea on their dish means war. The package changers are classic. A kid adores a specific yogurt. For 3 years he eats it every day. The manufacturer switches out the cartoon on the lid. The game is over. You can't eat that yogurt. The fear isn't that I don't like broccoli. Broccoli is going to kill me. They look at unfamiliar foods the same way most people look at a bear trap. Treatment involves tiny steps that make babies look like marathon runners. Week 1, look at the apple. Week 2, feel the apple. Week 3, take a whiff of the apple. Week 4, give the apple a lick. Right away rinse with a drink that is safe. No more mixed foods. If peas touch mashed potatoes, both are dirty. The plate is now a biohazard. Going to restaurants becomes like going to war. Birthday parties are like torture chambers with balloons. Relatives who mean well try to help by suggesting, just take one bite. It's like telling someone with a fear of heights to just leap off the building a little bit. Don't criticize if you see a kid eating their 47th meal of plain rice. They might be fighting a battle where everything on the menu is the enemy, not just beige and crunchy. Number 7. Squirrel spy brain. The kid who spent more time looking out the window than at the board. The one who knew how many birds landed on the tree outside but not what the subject was. Teachers reported they were in their own little universe. That universe has a zip code, ADHD. Everyone believed young Timmy was interested in clouds, but his brain was making a full-length movie about the secret lives of everything outside this classroom, replete with music special effects and a squirrel secret agent. I wasn't daydreaming about lunch today. This was like doing mental gymnastics in the Olympics. 5 times teachers might say their name. They would still be in charge of their fake squirrel spy flick. You'd have to wave your hand in front of their face like you were breaking a spell. Teachers kept stating they were always looking out the window. They weren't opting to ignore everyone. Their brains had their own Netflix that played automatically. The prefrontal cortex, the brain's CEO of attention, was on permanent vacation. While the teacher was talking about fractions, their brain was figuring out the exact path of a leaf. This type of ADHD is the ninja of mental health disorders. Quiet, stealthy, skilled at hiding. Less prone to bounce off walls, especially in girls. Instead, they discreetly battled their brain's channel surfing. Picture trying to follow directions when your brain keeps changing the order. 1 minute math, the next, wondering if fish get thirsty. It's exhausting. That kid was advised to stop daydreaming. They weren't daydreaming. At the same time, it was in 17 different dimensions. 6. The kid who got furious because their lunch was chopped into triangles instead of squares. Or had a meltdown because mom chose a different route to school. The kid who erupted over the simplest things. Parents said, "It's just a phase." Those volcanic outbursts weren't just terrible moods. Some kids have a hair trigger alarm system in their heads. These youngsters can have meltdowns where they yell and rage multiple times a week. Anger for an hour because someone urged them to turn off the TV. This goes on after toddlerhood. These kids aren't just throwing fits to get their way. Once they are triggered, their brains have a hard time calming down. Their emotional thermostat is broken. This extreme irritability may indicate anxiety, sadness, ADHD, or autism. Kids with oppositional defiant disorder, ODD, have 2 sides. One is doing things that break the rules. The other is a crushing sense of irritation. That irritation has hereditary ties to anxiety and despair later on. That kid who is being bad might not be bad. They can be drowning in feelings they can't control. There may be 2 kinds of childhood irritation. One shows up early and is linked to ADHD and problems with brain development. The other one comes out when you're a teenager, links to mood illnesses. Chronic irritability is a top complaint pediatric specialist here. Parents say that when they ask their kids to stop playing computer games, they yell. These youngsters aren't spoiled. Their brains send distress messages. That kid who blew up over everything might have waged a fight that no one noticed. 5. Voice kept hostage. Alex is at home. A walking podcast. Won't quit talking. Monday. Someone presses the mute button when Alex arrives into school. Not a word. The teacher poses a question. Nothing. Kids ask him to play. Be quiet. This isn't Alex trying out for mime. It's called selective mutism. There are occasions when your phone won't connect to specific Wi-Fi. That's what's happening in these youngsters' brains. At home, full bars. No signal at school. Anxiety hijacks their speech box. They're not choosing to be difficult. Their brain is telling them to be careful, turning off systems that aren't needed. Apparently chatting is non-essential. These kids appear like they're buffering while they stand there. They want to talk. The words are there. But it's like attempting to push a pull door. Some kids don't speak a word in class all through elementary school. Teachers assume they're playing the quiet game. These youngsters deliver TED Talks about their favorite cartoons at home, though. Adults assume they can cure it by stating, just say one word. It's like telling someone with a broken limb to just walk it off, or she'll talk when she's ready. These kids typically learn how to talk to each other without words like ninjas. These kids can find their voice again with the correct help. It's about making children feel comfortable enough that their brain stops thinking that talking at school is dangerous. It's not only stubborn to be a youngster who talks a lot at home and is quiet at school. Their voice isn't on vacation. Anxiety holds it hostage. 4. The world was taken over by fidget spinners. Kids have always done their own thing. They use their whole bodies instead of plastic. Alex is watching cartoons when he suddenly starts flapping his hands like he's attempting to fly. His parents assume he's happy about SpongeBob, but Alex's brain is installing a new version of the program. Stimming is when your nervous system needs a break, like when your computer freezes and you click the mouse over and over again. Some kids move back and forth like a metronome. Some people whirl around till they get dizzy. The department for sound effects. The boy who said the same word 47 times. It wasn't to make you mad. Their brains were hitting Ctrl-Alt-Delete because they were getting too much information. The world is loud, bright, new, and too much for a kid. It's like a rock concert where the band never stops playing. Kids make their own control panel. The volume knob is the hand flap. Spinning is the channel changer. The mute button makes that strange humming sound. Some kids look at ceiling fans like they know the mysteries of the universe. This isn't just random oddity. It makes sense. The brain can handle things when they get too much. It's like a stress ball that you can't lose. For certain kids especially, those wired differently, stimming is needed, not a defect. It's a feature. When everything is going wrong, it helps them stay focused. It calms them down when they start to feel anxious. Knowing when it's a phase versus something more is tough. If Sarah spins occasionally while thrilled, that's one thing. That's another thing if she spins so hard that she misses lunch. If you see a toddler flapping, rocking, or making the same sound again and over, don't worry. They're not strange, only human. Honest about what their brain requires. 3. When feelings ache. The kid always goes to the nurse's office on Monday morning and holds their tummy. The teacher rolled their eyes. That gaze from parents. Those stomach pains were real. It's a condition of somatic symptoms. Emotions masquerade as physical pain. The brain conducts a game show. Wheel of mystery agony. Today, crushing headaches. Tomorrow, stomach discomfort like swallowing porcupines. The body got a bad translator. The brain of a child. Worried about the math test. Body. Putting stomach aches to use. Doctors do all the tests. Everything is fine again. The kid is bent over in the meantime. Parents assume their youngster is pretending. These kids aren't actors who use methods. The suffering is real. The problem is in their mind, not their stomach. Kids don't know how to communicate their feelings as PhDs do. They can't say, "Mom, I'm feeling existential dread." Their body goes crazy at the wrong times. A headache comes from worrying about the spelling bee results. Symptoms alter more than a teen's TikTok preferences. Problems with the stomach for a month. Their arm hurts for no reason next month. Their body plays a game of symptom roulette. Studies reveal that these kids commonly grow up with anxiety and despair. Treatment isn't only painkillers. It's educating their brain to utilize words instead of making their body an alert. Therapy helps people say, "I'm stressed," instead of their stomach stating it. If you hear about a kid with unknown pains, remember, their body is terrible at expressing feelings. 2. Jokes as protection. The kid who made everything funny. They'd go into class and start making fun of the teacher's clothes right away. Someone drops a tray, they have jokes ready before pasta reaches the floor. Little Jimmy wasn't just funny by nature. He conducted a program for managing anxiety that looked like stand-up comedy. Anxiety is like a fire alarm in your brain. They turn into a circus act for people. Keep everyone happy. They won't see that you're sweating. It's like being an emotional bodyguard with knock-knock jokes. These youngsters were little comedians who didn't have good health insurance. They get people to look away from them faster than a ninja can throw a star. The boy made a joke shortly after Sarah fell and hurt her arm. Not a good time. Or when the teacher was serious, all of a sudden it was a comedy grenade. It was like their brain had just one setting. Must. Make it funny. The scorching of oneself. Hey everyone, watch how dumb I am. It's okay to make fun of yourself a little. It's not funny when a kid's comedic routine includes hitting themselves. That's their anxiety practicing ventriloquism. When their jokes didn't work, you could see panic in their eyes as if their force field had failed. They would either tell more jokes or stop. Some kids couldn't stop it. Teacher asks a critical question. Joke. Someone is weeping. Just kidding. Laughter was like emotional bubble wrap. It felt safe, but it wasn't fixing anything. The anxiety was still there, but it was wearing a comical hat. If you observe a child continuously spouting jokes, check in on them. Sometimes the class clown is really a nervous youngster who knows how to make people laugh. 1. A child who is always rebelling. A kid who looked to fight with their own shadow. Not merely, I don't want to, but a perpetual hatred against any rule, request, or authority. The child who is taught to clean their teeth spends 45 minutes talking about why it's a conspiracy. This is not merely a child with a strong will. This can be ODD or oppositional defiant disorder. A kid who for at least 6 months is virtually always angry and irritated. They become angry over little things, seem continuously annoyed, often resentful. The fighting. They purposely disturb others. Adults should be actively disobeyed. Put the blame on everyone else for their mistakes. They are always ready to fight. They can be cruel at times. Imagine a small lawyer who goes to court every day but never passed the bar. It's not as simple as saying that kid is bad. Kids with ODD don't always choose this. Sometimes it's because of how their brains are wired. Other times it's what they've seen and learned. If they are always in disagreement, their behavior may show it. They're learning a script for interacting with the world. They could feel like their world is dangerous or out of control. This continual no is a strange way to feel in charge. They might not see their behavior as rebellious. In their mind, they're the one who's being picked on. For parents living with this is like treading on eggshells that are also landmines. It wears me out. You are not a horrible parent if your child has ODD, and your child is not a bad kid. Therapists help parents and kids figure out what makes them act out. A mom might instruct her son to quit playing a video game. He blows up. If she finds it annoying to stop in the middle of a level, she can respond, "Finish your level, then clean up." This little change can assist. Hoping they'll grow out of it is never a good idea. If you don't get help for ODD, it might lead to more significant mental health problems. These kids are at risk for anxiety, depression, and conduct disorder. That time of always being defiant and angry could mean that something deeper is wrong. That's all for now. In the future, I'll make videos like this one. To see them, subscribe.